Good morning, everybody. KT here with Wise Images Photography, and today we are going to go out to the beautiful Rainbow River in Ellen, Florida. We're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the history of the area. We're going to talk about things that you can do, and we're just going to go ahead and check it out. So let's get going. Rainbow River is a 5.7 mile long river, and the head springs actually starts in the Rainbow Springs State Park. Now, I visited there about 5 years ago. The size is about 1,472 acres in size. It has like 11 different community types. So you have like flat woods, you also have like hydric hammocks and more. So lots of different areas that you can see. It used to be privately owned, and they had like man-made waterfalls and gardens, and some of those were still there when I saw them. I didn't check out all the different trails that you could have gone on, but definitely you want to go and explore. I don't have too much footage of that area just because, like I said, I just did a day trip like maybe 5 years ago. So I'll try to put in what I can in the video. Needless to say, they do have a concession stand there. You can camp there, you can snorkel, you can rent kayaks, tubes, canoes, and they have like a little launch area as well. So definitely a cool place to check out, and it is very beautiful there. Now, a little bit more about the Rainbow River area and whatnot. There have been people there since, you know, like 10,000 years ago. Originally we had the Tumacan people there, and then after that the Europeans came, and then they had the first settlers in like 1893, and you know, the park itself, Rainbow Springs State Park, it used to be, like I mentioned, privately owned before, and when all the attractions came to Central Florida in the 70s, the park actually ended up closing down. And then after that, in the 90s is when the park reopened up, but at that point it became open with the state. And the Rainbow River area itself, and the Rainbow Springs State Park, and basically the Rainbow River itself is considered an aquatic preserve. So you're going to see ample amounts of wildlife, which is really fantastic. Now, the west side of the river does have some development on it, but on the east side you're going to notice that there's not a lot of development on that east side, and so I tend to, as I was going down the river, I kept on looking to the east and not the west. Another spot along the river that has like rentals to get like kayaks, canoes, paddle boards, bicycles. I feel like I'm missing something else, but basically if you want to go on the water, they have what they call the KP Hole Park, and there's also a boat ramp there, so if you have a motorboat you can drop your boat there as well. That area, once I got to it, I did notice that it got a little bit congested, and one of the things that you have to remember is like people are coming over here from other areas, and maybe they've never been on the water before, so they're kind of like in vacation mode. That's one thing that's going on, and also too, they might not even know about boat safety and, you know, the rules of the waterway and whatnot. And then also too, some of them are just trying to figure out how to use a kayak or a canoe or a paddleboard or whatever. And so I noticed a lot of people kept on jutting out in front of me, so I, you know, even went even slower in that area, because, you know, obviously I have a motor and I have to be careful of that, and the river is idle speed anyways, but just be cognizant of that there may be some people there that don't understand the rules of the waterway, and you know, they're also just there kind of enjoying and whatnot. So make sure that you pay attention. I just kind of went a little bit slower and just tried to get out, you know, as quickly as I could and as safely as I could. Another thing in regards to safety, I did notice that there were some divers there. So if you ever see like a diver's flag, what I would suggest doing is by law, you're supposed to get away 100 or 300 feet, depending on, you know, how big the waterway is. I've read 2 different regulations on that. And so what I just do is I kind of slow down. I try to get as far away as I can, and then also keep an eye on the water to make sure that I'm not going over anybody with a motorboat, because that would not be a good thing. So if you do see diver flags, that means that you maybe have one or multiple divers in the water. There's another kayak tube launch area. It's called the Blue Run of Dunedin. They have restrooms there, which is fantastic, but if you have a motorboat, you're not allowed to pull off over there. So that's just another place that you can go ahead and launch your kayaks and tubes at. So how did I get to the river? Basically what I did was I went ahead and dropped my boat off over at the North Florida Avenue boat ramp over by the Centennial Park. There was no charge for using the ramp. I love the ramp because it wasn't super steep. I did get there pretty early just because the parking lot I heard was pretty small. So I wanted to make sure that I got a parking spot. So I went super early. I was on the water by 8 o'clock in the morning. And then once I got in the water, I went ahead and headed east towards east on the Withlacoochee River, and then I kind of came to a fork in the waterway, and I'm glad that they had a little sign there to tell me which way the Withlacoochee River went and which way the Rainbow River went. So I went ahead and followed the signs, and I rounded kind of like the corner, so to speak, and the sun was coming up, and there was just like this beautiful fog going across the waterway, and it was just absolutely stunning. So my suggestion is if you do want to go out to Rainbow River, just because it is a very popular spot, I would make sure that you head out there really early in the morning. You want to get there definitely before 11 o'clock in the morning, and I would even venture to say maybe get there even before 10, because I noticed that it did start getting a little bit more packed, and the wildlife was still out and about and whatnot, but you really got to see more of it, you know, with not a lot of people there in the earlier hours of the morning. Another time you could go would be later on in the afternoon, depending on what happens with our time change, because I don't know if we're keeping it or switching it or what we're doing with our time change. But I would say go maybe 5 o'clock in the afternoon or later. You will see so much wildlife out there. I saw an otter, I saw alligators, I saw cormorants, I saw anhingas, I saw a black crowned night heron, which I was not expecting to see that. So that was really a really cool surprise. I would just make sure, you know, there are dangerous creatures in the water. One that you really want to make sure that you guys pay attention to is the giant rubber ducky that's on Rainbow River. I'm teasing with you guys, but no, there really is a giant rubber ducky. Needless to say, they do have alligators. I did get to see an alligator snapping turtle. I did not get to get a picture of him. I was a little too slow on that idea of getting a picture of him. I forgot my GoPro. I could have dunked that in the water for you guys. Sorry for not thinking about that. But anyways, that was pretty cool to see the alligator snapping turtle. You also are going to see these wood boxes along the river, and those are actually wood duck nesting boxes. So you may see the wood ducks on top of those, and you are just going to see tons of wildlife while you're out there. So let's go ahead and check some of it out. sounds like a place that you all would like to visit, go ahead and hit it a thumbs up so that other people know that this is a cool video and a cool place to go. Like always, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in today. I really greatly appreciate it. Remember to hit that like, comment, subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that way you don't miss any future episodes. So tell me, is there a favorite spring that you all like to visit? Go ahead and drop that in the comment section below so that I know of some cool places that you all like to visit as well. Remember that you are awesome. Have a fantastic rest of the week, and I'll see you later, alligator.